Good afternoon, and congratulations, graduates. It can be extremely intimidating to sit here amongst all these scholarly people, all the pomp and circumstance, but two things are going to get me through this. The first is that, except for my husband and my brother, nobody came here to see what I was going to say this evening. Second to that is, anytime you're in new surroundings, you need to make a friend right away. So as I sat here on the podium, I made eye contact with a very beautiful, very statuesque woman who was sitting on the front. And when she smiled back at me, I knew that I had a friend forever. Now, Ashley, I may have chosen you, but I didn't know that you had all those credentials in your back pocket. So we have to be really careful about looking at people and judging them, don't we? But we can make friends pretty easily. So class, you've made it to this day, to your honored seat, and to this stage with varying timelines and in the midst of a vast array of motivations, obstacles, and personal sets of circumstances. To those of you whose paths included hardship of any kind, please don't feel put upon. Tough times don't happen to us, they happen for us. Overcoming challenges is as good a growth agent as has ever been known and produces fortitude, perseverance, and resolve. Your pathway is fading history, but we sincerely applaud your presence at this graduation celebration. You are ready to rise. Today I will make one assertion after another, none of which qualifies being either scholarly or academic. I cannot defend my statements with legitimate studies or even give names or the qualifications of the authors of my one-liners. They're just things I've picked up over time. But my message is a practical, simplistic approach to a fundamental human goal, which is simply happiness. I'm a baby boomer, no doubt. I've even been asked and told somebody aloud today that I was born in 1952. I know, I'm the age of your great-grandmother. But there are things that were true in 1952 that are true today, that are useful today, and that always will be. I'll share with you my own truths to be yours to prove or disprove through your own life. Your college experience has changed you, only subtly to the casual observer, but in serious and permanent ways. You are less fearful. You tolerate uncertainty well. You develop conclusions of your own based on fact and logic. You are an achiever. You reject senseless prejudices and embrace the beauty in diverse peoples and cultures. You fully accept yourself and others, respecting the elusive nature of that thing we call perfection. Your thirst for learning and growing is not quenched by earning a degree today. You own your responsibility as an employee, a student, a friend, a family member, and a citizen. Now, about to become a graduate of the prestigious Coastal Carolina University, you are no doubt among the best prepared Americans to become an impactful world citizen. You know what you are, but you're actually clueless on what you can be. What will you do with the new you? We've not so patiently yearned for the day of your arrival, this day, when the improved, learned, enlightened, polished, and empowered you emerges to help with the work of making the world better. The purpose of our lives and the best use of our talents is no mystery. The gift of your presence in this place at this time is your added response to the ills and deficits of our age, those things that rob humankind of joy, health, and happiness. Coastal Carolina graduates are leaders in the charge to stamp out social, health, and environmental deficiencies. Leaders like you rise. They come to know the way. They go the way. And they never hesitate to show that way to others who are lesser equipped to know solutions. Human suffering is rampant, and left ignored, will grow in its negative impact on individuals, on families, on neighborhoods, in cities, and in nations. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Every effort we make to feed the poor, to end abuse, to mentor the misguided, to protect animals, or slow global warming will spread exponentially. Every action in our lives touches on some chord that will vibrate into eternity. Every action in our lives touches on some chord that will vibrate in eternity. You are most assuredly the best catalyst for good doing. For if not you, then who? You are ready. My challenge to you is that you rise. It is your job to show up and participate, volunteer, advocate, teach, vote, mentor, coach, develop scholarships for the university, champion a cause, do something. I mentioned voting. In the election in 2015, November 4th-ish, there was a single vote from the Coastal Carolina precinct. One. I got that one, and I'm really proud of that. One vote. No, we've got to do better. Donate your money, but better, give of your time and effort. We need your heart in it. The child you spend an hour with may be, because of you, the person who does well in school and ultimately finds a cure for cancer or Alzheimer's. The disabled senior to whom you deliver meals is able to maintain his independence with some dignity. Your work on the Housing Authority Board leads to needed funding for additional low-rent units. Fundraising for charitable causes produces merrier Christmases for scores of children and families. You make a living with what you get. You make a life with what you give. Assuredly, nothing adds more to one's happiness quotient than contributing to the hope and happiness of another. I caution you. The world's telling you, succeed, succeed. But don't go after being a successful person. Rather, aim to be a person of value, regularly adding value to the lives of others. There are opportunities every day for you to make you proud of yourself. The difference between being ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra, the little heart, the little time, the little hand-holding, the little caring that you give. Being an extraordinary do-gooder lowers blood pressure, produces smiles and hugs, promotes peaceful sleep, slows the aging process. I'm only 66 and a half. And adds to your popularity. The spiritual are required to serve mankind in the teachings of the Torah, the Quran, and the Bible. Plain and simple, helping to pull others up is the right thing to do. It is up to you to do your own growing at the rate of you. No matter how tall your grandfather was, you've got to do it for yourself. So today I plant a seed. It's up to you to grow that seed into civic responsibility. The bottom line is that you, your talents, and your newly achieved credentials exist to improve our world. It never was about you anyway. I don't mean to disappoint you. Today's a day of celebration. Lives end. Every life ends. Only your good acts, extended outward, live and grow forever. My own story, in closing, is the one I know best. I was born in Conway, South Carolina in 1952 when Harry Truman was president and when Jim Crow laws assured my second-class existence. I was black and I was poor. I didn't misspeak. I can say the word poor, but that sort of indicates a little dignity tied to it. I was poor. To top off the gloom and doom of my prospects for the future, I somehow was sent to a teacher's desk to pick up a pen, and I saw on top of her desk my IQ score and a comment that was written next to it that defined me and my potential as dull normal. Now that's something to slow you down. I had nothing to foster ambition or hope, but I was pushed and prodded and pulled by a host of kind, caring hearts in my neighborhood, in my schools, in my church, and through personal development organizations. They made sure that I maximized what hope there was for me, given all those limitations. I recently sat in church with a childhood friend, and she sort of leaned into me and she said, "So Barbara, when you were a little girl in Tinkertown, could you imagine that one day you'd be the mayor of Conway, your hometown?" I pretended to think about it, and I leaned back into her and I said, "Yeah, Pauline, I had that all figured out." Not so much. Truth is, I had no plan at all. Left alone with my own weak devices, I most certainly would not be standing before you now. A retired neighbor of mine would come to my home and gave me a love for reading and exploring. My Sunday school teacher instilled in me the duty of considering all people with respect and love. A third grade teacher in Fallon, Nevada showed me total acceptance when she first put lipstick on my lips from a tube, and without as much as trying to pretend to wipe off the germs, she put that same lipstick on the little white girls that followed me. She'll never know what she did for me that day, but I'll tell you what, I never leave home without lipstick. My Brownie Scout leader bought a used uniform for me when my parents could not. My French teacher found time to help me survive teen growing pains. A guidance counselor secured a Coastal Carolina scholarship when I had no hope of going to college. And 33 years later, that same woman gave me her late husband's law books when I opened my first solo practice. Then there's a person who's present today. She's Dr. Sally Hare, who constantly fought my self-doubt and even hosted a shower for me at my leaving for law school at the age of 47. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Denise Applewhite and Jesse Brown gave me huge support in my mayoral campaign. And in the fall of 2018, the authorities at this fine Coastal Carolina University deemed me worthy of speaking to you today. My help just keeps coming. And if you think about it, you'll realize that you've been helped too. Think a tiny bit more, and you know somebody already who needs your help. Time has come. You've graduated. I hope you continue your studies. I wish you the best success in your careers, plural, because you'll live long enough to do just that. Even I had to. But after you receive your degree today, I can't give you another minute. It's time for you to go to work. Not to amass wealth, not to feed your family, not even to pay back your student loans. I'll be paying until I'm 72 years old, but it's the best check I write every month. Important work sits unattended that is assigned only to you. You know who you are. Do your work to be certain the world is better because you are here. Again, congratulations to this beautiful class. Go Chance, Teal Nation. You are ready. Rise and become your best you. God bless you all.